Imagine a world where the city of Rome teeters on the edge. Civil war, chaos, the collapse of an ancient republic. And then, from the ashes, rises a single man, Augustus. Most Romans knew him first as Gaius Octavius, the adopted son of Julius Caesar. When Caesar was assassinated, Rome fractured. Civil wars raged, alliances shifted like sand. But Octavius, clever, cautious, ruthless, outmaneuvered them all. He wasn't the biggest general, not the best orator, but he was the ultimate survivor. He first teamed up with Mark Antony and Lepidus to hunt Caesar's killers. Then, he turned on his allies and defeated them too, culminating in the legendary Battle of Actium. Afterward, he didn't call himself king. Romans despised kings. Instead, he called himself Princeps, the first citizen. But make no mistake, Augustus was Rome's first emperor. He reshaped everything. The Senate still met, pretending to govern, but Augustus held the real power. In the army, in the treasury, in every corner of the empire, he insisted on peace, what the Romans called the Pax Romana. After decades of war, Augustus locked the gates of the Temple of Janus, signaling that Rome, astonishingly, was not at war. For the first time in remembered history, nearly the entire Mediterranean basked under Roman law and order. But there was a chilling edge, too. Augustus was no mild-mannered reformer. He quietly eliminated rivals. He controlled Rome's mobs with handouts, bread, circuses, distraction, and reward, all at once. The poets sang his praise, but knew better than to criticize. Even the laws of marriage and morality bent to his will, as he tried to restore Roman values and his own image. He wasn't flawless. His personal life was a web of tragedy and rumor. His only child, Julia, was exiled. His chosen heirs died mysteriously, one by one, until only his stepson Tiberius remained. Yet Augustus's vision transformed his city-state into an empire. He boasted that he found Rome a city of brick and left it a city of marble. He built roads, aqueducts, temples, the mighty Forum of Augustus, physical reminders of his renewed Rome. His army was restructured, loyal directly to him, settled in permanent bases. The old cycle of soldiers and generals vying for power was broken, at least for a time. The provinces thrived, commerce flourished, art and literature reached dazzling heights. Even the months bear his name. August stands as an eternal reminder of his rule, a sequel to Julius Caesar's July. Still, his rule came at the cost of the old republic. Freedom of speech faded. Elections became rituals with foregone outcomes. Rome was safe, yes, but not quite free. Augustus ruled for more than 4 decades. At his funeral, the city wept. But some, quietly, wondered what price they had paid for security, for peace, his legacy. The system he built, the Principate, would endure for centuries. Emperors would come and go, good, bad, and catastrophic. But the foundation was his. Augustus became the yardstick by which every later emperor was measured. Coins bore his image. Writers styled him as a new Romulus, a second founder. His adopted family, the Ulio-Claudians, became Rome's first dynasty. But his greatest achievement wasn't merely surviving civil war. It was making Rome governable and making Romans believe that their empire, under one supreme ruler, was eternal. Did he save Rome or end the Republic forever? That's the question Augustus left for history. And 2,000 years later, you can still see his fingerprints all over Rome, the city, the laws, the myths. Because in Augustus's shadow, emperors would rise and fall, but the empire, for a time, would endure. What would you have chosen? freedom or order, republic or empire. In the world of Augustus, only one answer mattered, and Rome would never be the same.